The number one conversation I struggled with as a new nurse practitioner was what I call the no antibiotic conversation. Patients would come in sick, expecting and demanding antibiotics. I found myself as a new nurse practitioner beginning to dread seeing these patients on my schedule. I would dread walking in the room, and then afterwards I would feel drained from the emotional energy of trying to navigate this conversation. What I soon realized, it's a skill. Learning to navigate this conversation was a skill that I unfortunately didn't learn in school, and I didn't learn it in clinicals. And I'm willing to bet you didn't learn it in school and in clinicals either. You're drowning with the same issue, or you checked into one of two camps, and it's one of two camps no nurse practitioner should be in. So what are those camps? Camp one is the nurse practitioner who says, I know the science, they don't need the antibiotic, they're expecting it, they're pushing for it, they're demanding it, so I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to educate them that I don't think it's needed. These are the potential side effects, but here's your antibiotic and I'm done. Unfortunately, if you're a part of this camp, you are still responsible. If this patient gets antibiotics and they suffer antibiotic-associated adverse effects, you are still responsible for contributing to the worldwide crisis of antibiotic resistance. I know why you're in this camp. Trust me, I get it. You are in this camp because you cannot emotionally drain yourself or take more time to find a way to connect, especially when you feel like it just doesn't work. So I know why you're in this camp, but I want you out of this camp. And there is a different camp to be in. But what is the other camp that you should not be in? The other camp is what I call the hard-nosed nurse practitioner. This is the nurse practitioner who says, I know the science, I have the license, this is viral, you don't need an antibiotic, you have to let it run its course. Boom, mic drop. I know why you're in this camp. You're in this camp for the same reason, not being willing to be emotionally drained, not being able to afford to be emotionally drained. And you're also in this camp because you say, I don't have the time and I'm not going to waste the time. I have the license. I know that the antibiotic's not needed. This is the final word. What's wrong with this camp, even though you're doing what's medically right, you're not building trust and you're not building relationship. Those are two things that are absolutely necessary to impact outcomes for our patient and to improve their health for the long haul. I'm not criticizing if you're a nurse practitioner in one of these two camps, but what I am offering is there is a different, better camp to be in. And that camp is the nurse practitioner skilled in navigating this conversation compassionately and confidently, at the same time building trust and building relationship with their patients. That is the camp that I want you to be in. That is the camp that as a new nurse practitioner, I decided I was going to create for myself. I didn't want to be in this camp over here, and I didn't want to be in this camp over here, but I also couldn't keep fumbling through visit after visit, dread and being drained. Sometimes having a win and sometimes not. You can learn to craft this conversation compassionately, confidently, build trust, saying no to antibiotics. Saying no to antibiotics effectively starts with downloading my free guide. 10 patient-approved phrases you can start using today. Real-world scenarios, real-world practitioner responses that you can use. Download the free guide. Click the link below. If this inspires you, motivates you, opens your mind again to the fact that there is a different way, but you need more help, check out my coaching tab. I do have one-on-one private coaching spots where I am helping nurse practitioners and even nurse practitioner students learn to craft this conversation. We look at what you uniquely struggle with. We craft the dialogue to help you in those spots where you get stuck so that you can have a conversation from start to finish, winning the patient's trust, building relationship while saying no to unnecessary antibiotics. If that sounds good to you, click the link, download the free guide, check out the coaching tab. If you don't have time for one-on-one coaching, you want to connect in a different way to learn this conversation, I do have a course that will be available soon. If you want to know when that course launches, join the waiting room where you can sign up to be notified when the course finally launches. If all of this sounds good to you, to not be in the wrong camp over here, but to join the right camp, compassionately and confidently saying no to antibiotics, building patient trust and preserving relationship, grab the free guide, check out the coaching tab, join the waiting room, and I'll see you on the inside. Sometimes walking away feeling good about myself and what I accomplished, and sometimes